If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Thursday, October 11th, 2012. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Today in the FINIS Monitor, we'll be joined by Jeff Dugdale, who is in his third season as head coach of the swim teams at Queen's University in North Carolina. Queen's swimmers have been doing very well in just a short amount of time, and Jeff Dugdale joins us now from Charlotte, North Carolina to talk about it. Hey, Coach, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Great, Jeff. Thank you for having me on this morning.
It's a great pleasure to have you on. So, as we said, Queens is doing very well here. You just started your third season there at the All North Carolina Invite. Now, I know it's the first meet of the season. Everybody's a little bit rugged. But tell me what you saw there from your swimmers there at Queens.
Yeah, I saw a team that's ready to race, a team that's ready to say, yes, we're a Division II school, but and we handle the balance of Division II, but we're definitely ready to compete at the D1 level. We walked away with some wins, and literally what it told us was that we had a solid first training cycle, and all of our swimmers looked like they were in good shape, and this is a true testament to their club coaches back home, sending them here in shape. And I really want to give a shout out and thank you to all their club coaches who sent them to me in very good shape and ready to swim.
Is that a problem that you've had before, your swimmers coming back from the summer and not really being prepared to do the work that you want them to do?
It's not a problem I've had because the expectations are set, but it's something that I think every college coach fears when they go home, is not necessarily what the coaches have for them, but it's what happens when they get home and the accountability. We start to lose a little bit of control when we send them home. But I think we recruit out of some very solid programs, and in fact, I know we recruit out of some very solid programs. So I have no worries at all when they go home that they'll be held accountable and that they'll get the work they need to be able to come back in shape. And one of the reasons I stress that's so important is to also reduce the number of injuries we have throughout the year, because in college, as you know, we do have a very long season.
Well, you kind of alluded earlier that you're a Division II school that trains like a Division I school, and having seen how Division II swimmers train and compete, I understand what you're talking about, but tell our viewers kind of what you kind of mean with having that mindset.
Well, thank you for asking that, because I want to clarify, because there's a lot of Division II schools out there that are all with the intent of trying to make it happen and making it happen at a very high level. What separates Queen's University of Charlotte specifically is the fact that we are committed and looking forward to a quadrennial plan, which is more focused on USA swimming, and which separates us from a lot of NCAA schools. And in doing that, we use the NCAA experience to really recruit some very talented swimmers, but knowing that their talent will help them perform at the highest level at NCAAs, but keep them very focused on never sacrificing their progress towards their quadrennial plan of that being Olympic trials or making an Olympic team.
I would imagine this kind of goes hand in hand with the partnership that you and Queen swimmers have with SwimMAC-Carolina. Am I correct in saying that? Exactly.
This Coach Marsh and my vision in how we want to change the sport of swimming, in the fact that a lot of teams there's been teams in the past that have dropped, unfortunately. This is not something that we want to see continue to happen. So we with purpose sought after a Division II program. We like the rules, we like the resources, we like the vision that specifically Queens had, and it allows us the opportunity, and the fact that they're also building us a new pool, that we can focus this way and share through partnerships, show a new model to schools to avoid them being dropped in the future is our goal.
Now, as I said, this is your third season. You kind of had the opportunity now to settle into it. Is the reality meeting the expectations that you had coming in?
That's a good question. That's something I reflect on often, and Coach Marsh and I just had a conversation, a sit down, and about the reality versus the expectations. Although we're ahead of schedule in many aspects, we're still finding ourselves a little bit behind in the fact that with a new pool being built, we don't have all of the resources. We're utilizing 4 different pools right now for our college swimmers, but what we're finding is that through this chaos and using these 4 different pools, that our swimmers are actually benefiting from it because they're learning some important life lessons and how to manage their time. But I can only imagine we'll quickly get to our expectations as soon as everybody can see this pool. We move in July 1st. The shell is up. They're pouring the sides of it. It's pretty impressive what this D2 program is building, or the administration and the school has invested into the sport of swimming. And I kind of feel like, to tell you the truth, Jeff, is that we're kind of like the football on campus, and it makes us this steps on campus here really see the love that an athlete can receive that sometimes is lacking anywhere else is because of football or some of the big sports.
Yeah, especially the Division I level.
Yeah.
Well, as I've kind of noticed here, you're not the only big-time Division II swimming school in North Carolina. Wingate is there. They've been doing very well for many years. Have you kind of got some kind of rivalry going on? I know that they, like I said, they've been more established, but do you kind of see that as kind of the goal of being ahead of them in the near future?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Kirk Sanaki, head of Wingate, is a very dear friend of mine, and I even go as far as to say that I see him as a mentor, and not necessarily a formal mentor, because sometimes he doesn't know how much I'm learning from him. But Kirk is actually very responsible in helping us get started here. I have the utmost respect for Kirk, but we're both competitive. So your answer is yes, we do have a little bit of a rival, but I'll tell you what, this is what I love about Division II swimming, is that at NCAAs, we are cheering for everyone together. And Kirk has sat there and could have left the building because the swims were done, and he's cheered for our swimmers. We were behind the lanes cheering for his swimmers. And the fact is yes, we are competitive, but and it's a friendly rival, but the whole fact is that the respect Kirk and I have for each other, and that's all of our teams within the Bluegrass Mountain and Division II, that we it's really fun where we're going. And I learned something very important from Coach Marsh very early on, is that with our rival, when I swam at Auburn against Alabama, that one time I thought, when they were switching coaches, I asked Coach Marsh, I said, boy, this is going to be a great time for us to really go after them and turn the tide, so to say. And he said it is not in our best interest for Alabama to move down in the rankings, because when two teams are sharp, they only sharpen each other. And so I've kind of learned that. So Kirk and I have an agreement that we are going to do the best we can to keep Division II swimming at a very high level, and show the swimming community that there are opportunities at this Division II level that will attract some of the top swimmers, D1 or D2.
Yeah, that's a perspective that I've rarely heard before. It's very interesting that you two have that dynamic. So, speaking of kind of how you guys are performing, you were 11th at NCAA's this past March. Is there a top 10 finish in the cards this next season?
Well, we definitely came off a really good recruiting year, and then I do feel that I can't predict the future. And as you know, Jeff, unfortunately, I can't get in. I'm past my prime, so I can't get in and swim for them. But I will tell you that everything is in place with our swimmers, that if they were to perform to their potential and beyond, and that's what as coaches, that's what we try to do and strive for every year, that I do believe that we will put ourselves in a good position to capitalize on a top 10 finish. But ultimately, what we want to do is continue to excel at the highest level, both in the classroom and in the water. And I do believe smart swimmers are fast swimmers. So I like where we're going in the direction we're going in.
Well, you said you're past your prime, but there's always masters, you know.
Well, you know what? You're an inspiration to all. We watched very closely your comeback this year and swimming at Olympic trials. And thank you for being a leader in the way that you did. And someday I've got to get myself back in.
It's the fountain of youth I found, Jeff. So you know it's always good to see more people coming back to the sport.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff. Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck this season, and we'll see each other down the road on the deck.
Thank you, Jeff. Have a great one.
You too. So that's Jeff Dugdale joining us in the FINIS Monitor from Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's going to do it for today's morning swim show. As always, we invite you to join us at swimmingworld.com, on Facebook, or on Twitter to keep up with the latest news. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.